Something that forever changed how I view girls is when I realized that something really curious was happening during interactions with them. And at the time, I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but it always seemed to happen right before they would lose interest. And what I realized over time was that I was being tested, and whether or not I was being chosen over another guy or another guy was being chosen instead of me was being determined precisely by how I handled these tests. Now, one of the most fundamental aspects of attraction between males and females is the need for girls to test the strength or the confidence or whatever you want to call it of men that they are interested in. But it's not just strength and confidence that they are testing for. There are other things. And 9 times out of 10, most of this testing occurs during the initial stages of an interaction or when you first meet a girl. And the way that we handle these tests is incredibly important. So with that said, let's get right into it. Number 1, insulting you. One of the fastest ways to get somebody to crack, whether they are male or female, is to simply insult them. In fact, a girl can find out almost instantly if a man has low or high self-esteem based on how he reacts to an insult. Now, the purpose of an insult is to simply get a reaction out of you, and it's the way that you react that sub-communicates to the girl whether or not you have high or low self-esteem, or whether or not you failed to pass the test. Now, typically how it works is that men who have low self-esteem will fail the test because they will become angry, resentful, or cold after being insulted. Now, on the surface, it might just feel like she's insulting you, but what she's really doing is testing you to see how you handle validation. If a girl insults you and you get really angry or you react in some overly defensive or negative way, what you're unknowingly sub-communicating to her is that you care too much what she thinks about you, and this is always going to be a recipe for disaster. Now, all the girls out there who have a high level of self-esteem want to pick a man who also has a high level of self-esteem. And if you think too highly of her opinion about you, this is going to come out through anger or through defensiveness when you get tested with an insult. Now, imagine you're with a girl and several other guys, and all the other guys are able to bench a certain amount of weight. But when it's your turn, you can't, and the girl insults you by making a joke about how you're too weak to lift the weight. If you were to get mad and defensive after being flung this insult, you would fail this test. But if you play it cool and you make a joke about the insult, or if you're able to show indifference in some other way, then you would pass the test. Number 2, playing hard to get. One of the sneakiest ways that girls test you is by playing hard to get or by pulling away. A long time ago, I was messaging a girl on Facebook, and she was actually the one who started messaging me. And when I was first talking to her, she was showing lots of interest and she was kind of flirting with me. And then all of a sudden, she started messaging me less and less. So what was happening here was that she was pulling away, and the main purpose of this test was not to test my level of self-esteem or to test my level of confidence, but to find out how invested I was in her. Typically, desperate men act in desperate ways, so if a girl shows interest in them and then pulls away suddenly, they will react by over pursuing the girl, which manifests in behaviors like aggressively texting her back on Facebook or calling her phone way too many times. In other words, she wants to see if, when she pulls away, if you will chase after her. And if you watched any other videos on this channel, something that we never do is chase girls. If a girl pulls away and you pursue her, you're basically sub-communicating to her that you have low value and that you have no other options and that you have nothing else going on in your life that keeps you busy enough to not chase after her. Passing this test is simple. When a girl pulls away, whether it's in a DM or in real life, all that you have to do is never chase after her. Girls are like boomerangs. Once they leave your hands, they might seem like they're pulling further and further away, but as long as you don't chase after them, they will eventually come right back to you. Number 3, going cold. One of the sneakiest ways that girls test a guy is by going cold when he least expects it. I remember a girl that I used to like, and one minute she was acting like I was the greatest thing that she had ever laid eyes on, and then about an hour later, her mood changed almost instantly, and she went from being warm, talkative, and kind to basically acting like I ate her last chicken wing. Logically, I didn't think I had done anything to cause her change in mood, and the truth was that I didn't. The reason that she went cold on me was to see if it had any impact on me. If a girl goes cold on you, she is once again testing you to see how high you hold her opinion of you. Something you have to understand is that men who are needy and desperate tend to hold the opinions of other people far above their own in terms of importance. So if by going cold, she is able to trigger some sort of negative reaction within you, what this tells her is that you think very highly of her opinion, and if something as simple as a girl suddenly going cold on you has the power to shift your entire frame or to expose your mental weakness, then how could you possibly handle all of the difficult things that men must face in life? In most cases, when a girl goes cold on a guy who is considered low value, he will react in a negative way instead of shrugging it off and demonstrating that nothing that she says or does really has much of an impact on him either way. So if you pass this test, you will be placed into the high value, high self-esteem category of men, which is exactly where you want to be. And if you fail this test, then you already know what category you're going to be placed into then. Number 4, the jealousy test. By far, one of the most difficult tests for men to pass is the jealousy test, and at the same time, it is also one of the most important tests that you can pass. Imagine there is a girl that you like, and when you're alone with her, she acts warm towards you and even flirts with you a little bit. But whenever the two of you are around other men, she flirts with them a little bit and acts like you are nowhere near as important as you are when you're alone with her. Don't be fooled. Girls know exactly what they are doing, and they are highly aware of everything that is said, why it is said, and the massive undertone of things that are going on during any given situation. So what usually happens with this type of test is that a girl likes you, but in order to test you to see if she really likes you, she will stir up some jealousy within you by acting overly nice or even borderline flirtatious towards other men. Men who are placed in the low value basket will usually respond to jealousy in the same way that they respond to other tests, which is in a very negative way. When testing you with jealousy, the girl will watch you closely to see if you get triggered, and if she succeeds in this and you react really negatively, then you will fail the test. And as is the case with most other tests, the best way to handle it is to be indifferent or to demonstrate that anything she does or says really has no effect on you. And once she sees this, paradoxically, it will make her like you even more, particularly if the other guys that she is using to make you jealous are easily seduced by her while you are not. Number 5. Getting you to betray your own values. Now, I saved one of the sneakiest and most important tests for last because it is easily one of the most important tests that you can understand. And it goes a little something like this. Something that we as men are known for is our word. So if we say that we're going to do something, then we are supposed to do it. But this also extends to our beliefs. Imagine you have a friend who says that he believes that it's never right to flirt with another man's girlfriend if that man is one of his own friends. Now, as men ourselves, we are supposed to be able to trust his word or his beliefs about this. Now, what if the next time that he's around your girlfriend, you catch him flirting with her? Instantly, you will most likely lose all respect for him because he couldn't keep his word, and if a man can't keep his word, then he can't be trusted. Now, the problem here is not that he is flirting with her in and of itself. It is that you know that he supposedly believes that it is wrong to do this, and yet he was doing it anyway. Staying true to yourself or holding true to your values and beliefs, no matter what, is an incredibly important and seductive trait you can have. And females instinctively know when a man is falling short of keeping his word. And in the same way that you wouldn't be able to trust your friend after you caught him doing that, a girl simply cannot trust a man who she is easily able to sway in whatever direction that she wants. As men, we are supposed to be like rocks, meaning we are solid or not easily moved, whether we realize it or not. Girls are always paying close attention to things like our values or things that we say that we will never do, and if they are able to get us to compromise our values or who we are or what we believe in just to make them happy, they will lose respect and attraction for us each time that we fail this test. Imagine you tell a girl that because of your values you will never eat Chipotle, and then one day you're trying to figure out where to eat and she tries to convince you to eat Chipotle. Now, while she's testing you, she might frame it as you're being selfish, or she might say that you don't ever want to do anything that she wants to do in order to hide the fact that she doesn't actually think these things about you. All that she wants to do is test to see if you will keep your word, or if you will stay true to your values and your beliefs, such as not eating Chipotle, no matter what she says or what she does to you. And if you stay true to yourself and your word, no matter how much she complains, or no matter how awful the things are that she says to you, then inevitably you will pass this test. But if you give in, or if you compromise your values, or your standards, or your beliefs just to make her happy, then you will fail this test. These are 5 hidden ways that females will test a man that they like, and the way that you respond to them can allow you to grow and become a far more attractive and insanely more valuable man overall. And if you guys are into all things money, be sure to check out my second channel. The link is in the description. And with that said, until next time, thanks for watching.